A video to go through all of the body systems. This is something you need to know about for 5th grade science. Hopefully you've been able to check out these cool slides that me and the other science teachers have put together for you. But this video is for people who either have not been able to do that or for people who have gone through them and just didn't quite understand the information as they read it and needed a little bit more input. So I'm going to go real fast through these body systems, but I'm going to give you just enough information so that you know what they're all about, because that's the point. You've got to know the difference between these, and you have to know how to kind of compare the major parts of these body systems, not only amongst themselves, but amongst different types of animals, different types of vertebrates like mammals and reptiles and fish might have different looking body systems, but for the most part, the same stuff's going to be there. Right, so let's get started with the introduction to it here. All animals, including humans, have many different systems in their bodies. These systems have many different functions, but all of them keep the animal alive. Some of the systems work together and some work independently of each other. So some of these slides I'm going to skip through because I'm not focusing on the questions. I'm focusing on the information here. So let's talk about the first system. This is the skeletal system. This is what keeps us upright. Without the skeletal system, human beings would just look like a big blob of skin and organs, and that would be super gross, and we wouldn't really be able to do much. The skeletal system is the system of bones inside an animal's body. Bones are living tissue. This system of bones helps give animals support, allows them to move, and protects the organs. That rib cage right there protects a lot of organs. We have one too, keeping your heart and other things from getting crushed. There's a quick overview of the skeletal system. Some of the important things like the skull up there at the top protecting your brain. The mandibles, another word for the jaw. The clavicle up here is in your shoulder. Your sternum in the middle there. The humerus is one of my favorite ones because when you bump it, it hurts a lot, but you can say, oh, that's not humorous. Get it? Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it is. The pelvis, and then the longest bone in your body is the femur right here in your leg. So you've probably heard Coach talk about some of these bones before. I think he usually has like a bone of the week and a muscle of the week. So a lot of important bones. There are over 200 bones in your body. Those are just a few of them. So what bones do? Bones have a skeleton, give us our shape and our posture. Without our spine, that's the backbone, that's what makes us a vertebrate, and the leg bones, we wouldn't be able to stand up straight. Bones protect the softer parts of our bodies. And bones work together too. They actually work with muscles and ligaments and tendons to make everything in our body move. All right, so that's the bones. Now let's talk about the muscles, because like I said, the muscles and the bones work together. As you see that, is that a Machamp or a Machoke? I think it's a Machamp flexing there, getting ready for a Pokemon battle. So the muscular system is the system that works with the skeletal system to allow animals to move. Muscles are made up of tough tissues that are attached to bones. Muscles will tighten, or it's called contracting when they tighten, and that'll pull the bones, causing them to move. So your brain sends a signal, it makes those muscles contract, and then you're able to move around. There are 3 types of muscles you need to know. Let's go over them real fast. Here we go. The first one is cardiac. Anytime you hear the word cardiac or cardio, it has to do with your heart. So those are muscles found in the heart. Skeletal muscles, surely if you were paying attention 12 seconds ago when I talked about the skeletal system, you know that's talking about bones. These are muscles attached to your bones. And then smooth muscles are lining your organs. So when we think of muscles, when we learn about muscles in PE class, it's probably those skeletal muscles you're learning about. All right, the next system is the nervous system. So I said the muscles help move the bones, and then the muscles get signals that tell them to move. Well, this is the part of your body that sends the signals. This is your nervous system. So the main parts here are your brain and your spinal cord and your nerves. It is the control center of the body. It's a system that's made up of nerves and allows animals to use their senses. Vertebrates have much more complex systems than invertebrates. Mammals have the most complex system of all the vertebrates. Remember, vertebrates are those animals with a backbone. The nervous system is like your body's computer. The brain is like the computer, and the spinal cord and nerves are like the wires that send signal to the brains. If you got time to get on here, I've got this infographic which shows you the main parts, but I also have some brain games to test out your nervous system. So if you get the chance to get on these slides, take a look at those. So nervous system is dealing with your nerves and your brains. That's the one that's sending signals. Let's go back to this. If you touch something that is hot, your body feels that. It sends signals through your nerves up into your brain, and your brain reads those signals and tells your body, oh, that's hot, move your hand off of there, and that's why you jerk your hand back. If you didn't have those nerves sending those signals to your brain, you'd just keep your hand on that hot stove and you'd be like, what's cooking? And then you'd look down and you'd see you had some roasted hand there. So it's important for us to feel pain. Pain tells us, oh, don't do that. That's bad for you. So that's what our nervous system do. It sends signals telling us to move, telling us to watch out for something, telling us to feel and use our senses. That's what the nervous system is all about. All right, now let's get into that circulatory system. I'm getting pumped up now. I'm excited about all these systems. My blood's pumping, my heart's moving, and that's what the circulatory system is. The circulatory system is the system that transports oxygen, food, and water to all of the parts of your body. It includes the heart, blood vessels, and blood, because blood helps transfer oxygen through your body and other stuff. The heart is a very strong muscle that beats. It beats so strongly because it's got to pump all that blood. The heart is a pump, basically. These beats pump blood throughout the body. That circulates the blood. We call it circulate because it goes around and around and around and around and around and around it goes. The hearts of vertebrates vary. Different kinds of vertebrates have different hearts. A fish heart has 2 parts, or chambers we call them. An amphibian heart has 3 chambers. Mammals and birds, we're a mammal, have 4 chambers in their hearts. We got complex hearts. Don't break my heart, man. The purpose of the circulatory system is to carry fresh oxygen all over the body. We need oxygen to live, not just for breathing purposes, but for our brain to keep going. And we got to get that oxygen up to the brain. We've got to get it to our muscles and other parts. So the major organs and functions in the circulatory system, obviously the heart adds fresh oxygen to the blood and pumps the blood. The blood delivers oxygen to the organs and the muscles. The arteries carry the freshly oxygenated blood away from the heart into our muscles, and the veins return the blood to the heart and gain fresh oxygen. So arteries carry the blood away from the heart, and the veins return it and bring it back. In our blood, we have red blood cells, which carry the oxygen, white blood cells, which we learned about at the beginning of the year in infection detection. They're fighting diseases. We need those right now, so keep them strong. And platelets stick together and make your blood clot. This is why when you get a cut or something, eventually it kind of closes up, the blood clots up and keeps you from bleeding all over the place. And then there are 3 cells that these 3 cells all travel in a substance called plasma, which is found in our blood. You can donate blood, but you can also just donate plasma. All right. So then the next system is called the respiratory system. We're going through a lot of systems here. Respiratory has to do with breathing, respiration. The respiratory system is the system that transfers oxygen and carbon dioxide in the lungs. When animals take in oxygen, the lungs transfer the oxygen to the blood vessels for all of the body's tissues to use. Once the oxygen is used, a waste called carbon dioxide is formed and brought back to the lungs and blood vessels. The carbon dioxide exits the body when it is exhaled. Carbon dioxide is considered a waste of our body, but it's also a very useful thing because we know that plants use carbon dioxide to create glucose and to create oxygen for us, which we breathe in. And it's a cycle. We breathe in the oxygen and release the carbon dioxide. Amphibians not only use lungs, but they also can release carbon dioxide through the skin and bring in the oxygen through there. And don't forget, amphibians might have gills when they're first born. Fish have gills the whole time. The rest of the vertebrates breathe within their lungs. So, like I said, fish breathe with gills. They take in water through their gills, and don't forget that water is called H2O. That O stands for oxygen, so they can take the oxygen out of the water and use that to breathe. All right, and then the last systems we're going to talk about are digestive and excretory. The digestive system is the system responsible for breaking down food so the body can use it for energy. I know you know about the digestive system. You use it all the time to digest your food. Sometimes it goes really well. Sometimes your digestive system gets a little upset and you get a tummy ache. Hopefully you're not having any of that right now. You're just eating nice, healthy food, good snacks for you. Good job. Invertebrates have simple digestive systems. Simpler invertebrates have one hole that food goes in and waste goes out. The food is broken into smaller pieces. Vertebrates have more complex digestive systems. Mammals, like us, for example, have organs that break down food chemically. We have stomach acid, and we learned about stomach acid in infection detection too, because we know that sometimes when we eat things with germs, the stomach acid takes care of some of those. Obviously not all, so be careful what you eat. The broken down food travels down into the small intestines where nutrients are absorbed by the body or into the body. Our food takes quite the journey through our digestive system, where each cell, tissue, and organ plays a vital part in the digestion of our food. If you get the chance to get on these slides, there are some cool 3D models to show you what those parts of the digestive system look like. And then it all ends up going to the excretory system, which, let's just face it, it's not the prettiest of systems. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but this is how we get rid of waste. So we have kidneys and liver, which filter waste from the blood. We have skin that has pores in it, and we sweat out things to release them. So our body's got to get rid of that waste somehow, so we can release it through our sweat or through our urine and other waste that we release from our body. Let's leave it at that. Those are the major systems that we talked about here. If you get the chance to get onto these slides, there's a couple other systems that I didn't talk about, which you'll find in these infographics here. The lymphatic system, we talked about lymph nodes. Basically, this is part of your immune system here, helping to fight infection, which is very important right now. And the integumentary system, I call it the skin system, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about skin. Your skin is part of a complex system as well. There's also the reproductive system, which is how different animals reproduce and create young. Remember, mammals have live birth. The other vertebrates lay eggs. So those are the major systems. Hopefully you found this video helpful. I tried to go through it as fast as I could just to make sure I got the information out there to everybody and explain things a little further for people that were confused. So thanks for watching this. I'll put up some more videos when we get to more stuff, but keep learning and keep going over those systems. Thanks, guys.